Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Mariya. This channel is about spirituality and all things energy related. Please subscribe below so we can be YouTube friends. Today, I wanted to explore the topic of psychic abilities with you. Specifically, I received a question, and it goes something as follows. Why is it that it is so easy for some people to tap into their psychic abilities, and for other people, it's virtually impossible to open them up? Really, why is it, right? Because in spiritual circles, you often hear that everybody has access to their psychic abilities and everybody can be a psychic. But we don't necessarily see that in society. And so today I'm going to explore 5 reasons why it may be easier for some people to open up to their gifts than others. The first thing is the impact of your lineage. Certain energies, certain traits, certain skill sets just run in the lineage. Even down to the chakra level. When a new baby comes into an incarnation, they become first and foremost a copycat of the two of their parents, right? So the chakral energy of their mother are mixed and mingled with the chakral energies of their dad, and then baby becomes a sum total of both of these energy streams. So psychic gifts run in the lineage, for sure, make no mistake. Psychic gifts are usually the gifts of the higher chakras. So there are, although I said that and then I'm like, yes, as a general rule, psychic gifts are the gifts of the higher chakras. However, there are certain shamanic practices and certain shamanic lineages that get their psychic gifts from the root and the earth star chakra. So they actually go into the Gaia, right? So take that with a grain of salt. Either way, very often, as a general rule, psychic gifts are the gifts of the higher chakras, and developed higher chakras do run in lineages. In fact, it is a lot easier for the parents who have their higher centers activated, and higher centers are the heart and up, everything that happens above the heart. So essentially, for those parents that have those centers activated, it is a lot easier to impart that on their baby. Now, they don't need to be actively imparting the psychic gifts. It happens like dormant genes, like it just happens in the background on autopilot. So if your lineage has had a lot of tapped in people, if you've had seers or oracles in your lineage, if you've had shamans in your lineage, if you've had medicine women or medicine people, I should say, people from all kinds of traditions, or even if you've had people who have been very religious in your lineages, like a lot of monks or like a lot of nuns or just people that were very pious and did a lot of prayer, that usually starts at the heart center, right? So if you just happen to have such a lineage, it's going to be a lot easier for you to open up your psychic gift. So that is reason number 1. Reason number 2 is what you have brought from your higher self. We are an amalgamation of all of the lifetimes that we've lived before. It is not your first lifetime, I guarantee you that. Your soul has practiced many things for many lifetimes. If your soul just happens to be a soul that has practiced and played with the higher chakras a lot, that has worked on developing the higher chakras as well as psychic abilities in past lives, your psychic abilities may come online very easily. They may even be innate to you. You may not even experience this phenomenon of the veil of forgetfulness where you don't remember your past lives. Some souls come through already knowing that, but that usually happens to the souls that have already been there and done that in terms of developing their psychic gifts. Right? So a lot is dependent on your propensity and literally how many lifetimes you have lived where you practiced the healing arts and the psychic arts already, right? And if you've done this enough, it just becomes like second skin. It just becomes so natural, and gifts can come online literally out of nowhere. And, you don't have to do anything for that. So that would be the second reason. Third reason why some people have an easier time opening their psychic gifts than others is the intention of their higher self and your mission here on earth. The higher self doesn't just randomly send you with a set of traits. The higher self doesn't randomly send you with a particular skill set or the lack of thereof. Everything is intentional. You come here with 100% of your energy, and it is up to your higher self to decide what percentage of that energy is going to go to what skill set. So it's essentially like, okay, 12%, let's go to her talent of speaking. 5% will go to her talent of writing. 10% will go to her talent of running a company. 6% is going to be her motherhood and how she shows up as a mother. And like, okay. And then like, if your higher self deemed it necessary for you to develop psychic gifts in your incarnation, then most likely it's going to be a lot easier for you. You're going to start feeling a pull towards all things spirituality related and all things chakra related, or even, the occult, right? Like it may come in many, many forms. And, again, certain things may come online out of nowhere. Of course, if your mission on Earth, for instance, is related to channeling books or becoming, like an energy healer, of course your gifts are going to come online a lot easier compared to somebody whose mission is to be in politics or do charity work or be in sport, whatever, the deal may be, right? So there is a method to the madness of how our incarnations are planned and how energy is being distributed. So the intention of your higher self actually has everything to do with how easy or hard it would be for you to tap into the energy of your higher centers and therefore your psychic abilities. The fourth reason it may be harder for some people to tap into their abilities is because there is a blockage in one of the lower chakras. Remember, psychic abilities as a general rule live upstairs, right? They live from the heart up. A lot of them live in the third eye. A lot of them live in the crown, right? So the very top two chakras. So if you have a big block in your lower chakras, it may be that the energy cannot just rise up, right? Because the energy needs to rise up from the bottom up in order to activate your centers. Now, there are two streams, of course. There is a downward stream and the upward stream. But in order for you to truly have psychic abilities, the downward stream is usually where problematic things start to happen. And so if you have a blockage in your root, in your sacral or your solar plexus, then it may be harder for you to rise up. What could be the examples of different blockages? With the root, very often it's fears. If you live in fear, it may be harder, whatever that is. It may be fear of physical things. It may be fear of, etheric things, right? If you live in constant fear, it may be harder for you to activate your psychic abilities. Sacral, this is usually your victim mentality. If you're very much in your victim, it may be harder for you to activate your higher and psychic abilities. I'm just giving you some random examples. It's not all encompassing, but I'm just giving you examples. Or maybe you have a block in your solar plexus. And if the block, and that would be around identity, around self-esteem, or around your ability to make money or do something in the physical, if that is really, really blocked, then certain gifts may never come online. And so usually it's a really, really good idea to do the cleanup in the lower chakras if you're looking to get a meaningful breakthrough in your higher chakras. So don't bypass the lower chakras just because it doesn't feel fancy and doesn't feel psychic enough. Sometimes you have to do the rising through the chakras. The fifth reason why it may be harder for some people than others is actually because the time hasn't yet come. If you find yourself being frustrated and seeing that, your friend over here, for instance, can talk to spirit and receives, messages through clairaudience, and you have done just the same amount of training, but your gifts are just not coming online, consider the fact that it may not be your time yet. When our higher selves plan our incarnations, sometimes they need us to hit certain milestones before certain things can happen for us. These milestones can come in a variety of shapes and forms. For example, it may be that your higher self wants you to reach a particular level of income before your psychic gifts would come online. Or maybe your higher self, very random example, wants you to have a child before your psychic gifts can come online, or whatever that may be. And if you haven't checked that box, if you haven't gotten to that milestone, but at the same time you're pushing really, really hard for your gifts to come online, you may be disappointed, right? So trust that your gifts are also going to open up when the time is right. I promised you 5 reasons. There is one more reason that I want to throw in as a bonus. Your overall level of vibration is going to have an impact on how hard or easy it is for your psychic gifts to come online. There is always a way to optimize and enhance our gifts, because when something is opened up, it's not like it's an on and or off switch. Like if somebody's clairvoyant or clairaudient or, I don't know, claircognizant, it's not like everybody is claircognizant to the same degree. There are ranges, right? You can be 1% claircognizant or 100% claircognizant. So there is a variety and a range even within the psychic gifts. And so if you're looking to develop yours, raising your vibration through what you consume, the foods that you eat, the content that you consume, the movies that you watch, how much time you spend in ritual and meditation and contemplation. Do you do retreats? Do you do fasting? All of these things contribute to rising your vibration. So the higher your vibrations are, the easier and more natural it is for your higher chakras to start operating properly. And that is where all of your psychic gifts are. Please let me know in the comments if these things make sense to you, and please let me know what resonates the most from you from this video. What are the 6 different reasons you have maybe recognized yourself in? But also, here's the one thing I will tell you guys: don't despair. If you are on the spiritual path, practice makes perfect. When I first started connecting to my higher self, it took me so long. Like it would take me like 15 minutes to get connected. Now I can, I don't fully ever get disconnected is the scary part. I like receive messages all the time, right? So the more you use a particular channel, the more you use a particular ability, the better it's going to become, right? So whatever you are in your journey, don't make yourself wrong for it. Know that there is a plan that your higher self has for your life, and there's probably a reason why you're attracted to all this spiritual content. Believe in yourself, because I believe in you, and hopefully this video helps to bring some clarity on your journey. Much love. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, darlings.